one of the most watched games of the weekend. Everybody was looking at Portman Road, not necessarily to see an Ipswich Town and Kieran McKenna, who's done a really good job at the football club, but Ruben Amorim, his first game in charge of Manchester United. Who was he going to? Well, what system was he going to play? Who was going to be where?
We knew the system.
What were we going to see different? Tell me what you thought of the first Amorim appearance, selection. What you liked, where there's work to be done. What do you think he'll take away from a 1-1 draw at Portman Road?
Oh boy, Rob, I could talk. This is the sort of thing I love, right? I love this sort of thing where a manager goes in with a new philosophy, same group of players. Eric Ten Hag, struggled. What are you trying to do? There's no pattern, and all of a sudden that's all changed because there's no question that there's an obvious structure and a shape to the team. Yeah. And it was probably exactly how I expected it to be, Rob. There's players that are clunky. We're in a 3, we got the wing backs, and before we get to who played where, it's going to take time. But I'm okay and I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it, to see it develop, to see different players come in. It's going to evolve every single half of the game, as we saw the changes with Ericsson and Casemiro. No, that ain't going to work in the middle of the park. They're a little exposed in there, Rob, with that system. The wing backs are kind of wide.
The two middle guys through, didn't they?
They got played through a lot. Couldn't be compact. They couldn't get anything going. They couldn't build out of the back. The first 1 or 2 passes weren't happening. They couldn't get through. So the front players had very little joy. The goal comes from a quick counter break. Amad Diallo, I just love him. I just love him. And how about him for a right wing back with that little left foot coming inside?
I thought he was the find today, wasn't he? I thought he was the find.
Yeah. The front 3, it's going to evolve. Rashford gets his goal, fair play, sprint into the box, finishes it really well. It's a good start for him as a number 9. Bruno starts in the higher position, Rob, goes back into midfield with Ugarte because they couldn't play out, and that helped him in the second half. I just think it was exactly, and I know there's some disappointment not winning and it not being silky, but that's what's needed. That's what's going to happen. That's absolutely as expected with 2 days of training. And I see, the show today, Rob, you run some really good clips of set pieces, and he's working on the team almost the minutes before the game kicks off. So he knows he's got a ton of work to do. I'm just fascinated by who's going to excel, who's going to finish in the spots. I'll tell you what we might see, Rob, based on today a little bit, and things will change a lot. We might see Bruno playing as a number 6. We might see them.
Building up.
And you might see Mason Mount. Mason Mount might be the higher Bruno. And you're probably still going to play with a Garnacho or a winger type as the other 2 behind the central player. Who's going to be the left back? I thought, before I let you come back in, Rob, Luke Shaw looked $1 million at left side centre-back. Absolutely perfect for Luke Shaw to play that left side centre-back. He'll edge forward. He's good on the ball. The left wing back is not ideal at the moment with Dallo. But I thought it was a fascinating game, and this sort of thing I love to watch grow. The manager is saying the things that make sense. It's going to take time. It was a fascinating game, mate, and I enjoyed it. And by the way, also, it wasn't just about Man United. I thought Ipswich Town were blimmin' great value, great club, great support, some lovely football, some technicality. There's very little on the tactical side that he's doing differently, Rob. It's a 4-2-3-1. Always has been, probably always will be. I really enjoyed it, mate. What did you make to it?
So similarly, I think, I don't know, when you go on social media, and I think some people, some Man United fans, or maybe just fans generally, we're expecting like the magic wand, Rob. We change the system, I'll put some people in. Man United are going to be brilliant. Unfortunately, that isn't how it happens. And so, a bit like you, I kind of got what I thought. There were bits of structure that I thought looked better. I thought there was a willingness to try and get back behind the ball, whether they did or didn't. I thought the 2 midfield players, as you say, got torn apart. There was a bit of Eric Ten Hag in there. How Ipswich played through them, got into those midfield spots. That'll be something he'll want to address. I thought Amorim came out with a couple of really salient points after the match, where he talked about everybody keeping to the system and understanding what they're doing. And at times, staying on the right track is going to be more as important as the results. And he said, if we're going to do this long term, we have to stay with what we're doing. And I thought that was really important. Not just about a win, it's about making sure we've got the building blocks to move this forward. And then the point that I brought up to Bex, and it was echoed when Amorim said, I just thought there was a bit of, in the player's head, there was a lot of thought going on instead of natural play. I thought Garnacho particularly, that happened. He got in 2 or 3 great positions, and it was almost like he was thinking about, what does a new coach want me to do, rather than doing what he would naturally do. And so there's this turnover when a new manager comes in, because you want to do what the gaffer says, because that keeps you in the team. But actually, part of why you're in the team is because you do certain things really well. So continue to do those. So I just think there's a balance of that, Rob, that's going to be important, that will help the team. But liked where it looks like we're going. I think we've got 6 months with this manager of experimentation. Minimum 6 months. Just to give himself a view and an understanding of what he's got, what he might need, and what or who needs changing.
But I still think, Rob, it's going to improve. I don't think it's 6 months.
I'm not saying. I still think
it's going to get better than that.
He'll want improvement. But I think he'll give the period. I mean, we saw Ericsson and Casemiro, and that doesn't look like it's worked. Now, I'm not saying neither of them will play again. What I'm saying is, over a period of 6 months, I think he'll work to a position where one, or if not both of them, will not be in that position.
The possession thing's interesting, Rob, because we know one of his keys is for the team to keep the ball more.
Got to keep the ball,
for various reasons. And that's where they struggled first half to keep the ball.
Yeah.
Now, second half, when they had more possession, maybe they didn't look like
They had one
much.
shot on target with all that possession, which is another area
but that's still better. He wants them to possess, so they can build up the play. They can move the whole team into the attacking part, and then when it's given away, that's where they want to do their pressing. When they get caught getting bogged down trying to play out from the back, that's the last thing that he wants. That's what we saw. We knew it was a big kind of rebuild in everything. You're reprogramming. It's almost like Man United learning to walk again, Rob, in terms of what this guy wants and going from nothing, going from nowhere to somewhere. And that's what we're going to see over a period of time. Before we move on, I've got to Ipswich a little bit more, Rob. We've got to shout out the goalkeeper. We've got to shout out the goalkeeper, Andre Onana. A guy that was shaky at the start, came out with some huge saves, confident, strong, no errors with his feet, made that big save with his arms early on from Liam Delap, where it's like, well, you got to score there. So it was a struggle, the outfield, no struggle in goal, and that's got to be really good to know from the manager that the guy in goal, there's no issues. I'm just going to go as well, Robert. Like you say, I think you've mentioned it, but Kieran McKenna and needs a little mention. Was not deemed good enough for Manchester United under Ollie. Was talked about as being a possible suitor to the job this time around. What he's done, how he's working, as you say, his team is set up. And I tell you what, there was a young man on his team, Amari Hutchinson, mate, who was as good as anybody on the field today. Caused problems with his movements, sucking centre-backs out of position, causing problems to the midfield players. Talented, lovely first touch on the ball, gets his goal courtesy of a flick off Mazraoui, I think. But I just thought he was close to my underappreciated performer of the week this week. I know all the spotlight was on Amorim and Manchester United and that, but I tell you, Hutchinson came through the academy. I think started at Arsenal and he's at Chelsea's academy. He's a decent little player and one that could grow. When you look at Delap and I like the left back, Leif Davies, centre backs. They've got some good parts to that team. I just want to, so I want to follow up on Liam Delap, Rob, because we had a conversation in the studio a few weeks ago, and Rebecca sort of talked about, is a big club going to come for Liam Delap in January, because he started off scoring 6 goals in 10 or whatever it was. And I'm like, possible, but, maybe a little bit. I thought he was good today, Rob. I think he's improving game by game. And I know this goal scoring's been really good, but some of the turns, some of the strength, some of the, I just thought he was a little. Well, I guess you need more evidence, but I just liking even more what I'm seeing with Liam Delap, and I think that's somebody, certainly to watch. I know the goal's going to grab the headlines, Rob, but we know it's more than that. If you're going to be a top player, it's more than that. And I thought his availability for the ball, his technicality on the ball, some physicality at times, I just thought he was excellent. And my last shout out in this game, Rob, is for a bit of an old timer, Sam Morsey.
Morsey. Captain, midfield player.
Old geezer. He's like,
he's old as us, isn't he? He was in the same class at me at school, I think.
I'll tell you what, mate. He buzzes around midfield. He was at this football club in League One a few seasons ago. He's been there all the way through. And I know they've signed other players in the midfield, and Phillips and everybody else has come into the club. But Sam Morsy, if you looked at him just buzzing around, always on the ball, that's a good player. He's a good player in Division 1 as a central midfield guy, and he can absolutely be a good player in the Premier League. Is he gonna go box to box and score a ton of goals? No. But I just thought Sam Morsy, for being there for a long period of time, he had a really good game today. Hardly gave the ball away, made a few tackles in key spots. Just wanted to shout out to one of the old guys.
Yeah, I think he was player of the season last year in the championship.
What a player.
Good
Brilliant.
captain. Yes, good shout. Honours even in the game at Portman Road. Ipswich won, Manchester United won. More work for Amorim to do. The only slight problem, Rob, I think that every 2 or 3 days now they're going to have games, so there ain't going to be a lot of time on the pitch. Video work and other work and conversations. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun watch to see how Amorim goes, because I think in terms of how he presents himself, Rob, he's immaculate. He's spot on. And now we're going to see what work he puts into his team.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.